Best guy control from Jim Davis in game number 2. He won the first game against Tron.
Wow.
All right. But there's a lot of mana on the other side right now, Ryan. A lot of mana. Here's Ancient Stirrings.
This is the good 9 mana strategy.
Yeah, talking about making 9 mana. Okay, this is a deck that can do it. I can make, and more.
Right.
Finds Karn off Ancient Stirrings. Has enough mana to make Karn. Jim appears to still be tapped out. This is the big spells deck. Gonna start going at Jim's lands. Takes away Jim's red source. He brings the Karn down to 3, but Jim has a lightning bolt. I don't know if he has another red source, though. We'll see if he can draw one. No.
It has a negate in hand. That one, not so good when the Karn's already resolved.
No, he needed to find that red mana right now. Because once Karn starts going up to 7, it doesn't come back. Now then we're looking at detention spheres, cards like that.
Yeah, it's really difficult to cleanly answer a Karn when it starts plussing. A Thrag Tusk following up for Angus here. That negate that Jim picked up, that doesn't do anything about that.
Yeah, so it's just more bigs. All coming out of the sideboard. The Karn on its own may have been enough, but certainly once we start adding Thrag Tusks to it, it's going to get tough. Jim has about a turn here to make things matter. He will use Vendilion Click, finds another Thrag Tusk and a Sylvan Scrying. He'll take care of that Thrag Tusk.
Yeah, the 2 Thrag Tusks would have closed the game pretty quickly.
Yeah, Serum Visions from Jim draws him into land 5. Spell Snare, Stony Silence. He's not interested in either of them anymore.
Yeah, Spell Snare is good sometimes against Tron.
Yeah, it's like against their turn 2 Sylvan Scryings. It does a lot of work there.
Yep.
Then it quickly becomes dead.
Yep.
So Vendilion Click can go to work on... Is he going for the life total? I think he is. Angus at 14.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you whittle away the Karn, at the end of it, Angus has a lot of draws that just make it really easy for him to close the game. If you're just fighting down the Karn, it's going to be something else. Another copy of Karn, and Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Ulamog. If you can actually deal with the life total, as you see, Jim has access to Lightning Bolt and Snapcaster Mage in hand.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe you can actually close the game where Angus will have more draws at things that will just kill Jim in the interim otherwise. You know, already Angus is attacking with this Thrag Tusk.
I guess if Angus just pluses the Karn every turn, there's no way Jim ever gets rid of it.
Yeah.
So might as well just let it happen.
Right. Your attack for 3 is already behind the plus for 4.
Yeah. So Angus will bring the Karn down.
How do you feel about
4.
This representation of 4 loyalty on the Karn?
3 and 1. I'm a big fan.
Love it. No, that Karn is not at 31.
I can't think of a better way to do it.
Wow.
Oh, wow, Judge. That's just the rudest.
Yeah, I thought this table spotter was not supposed to interfere with the game. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would have liked it if the Judge came over with a black die of a 3 and a 1 and put them on the Karn.
4 1s.
We do see from Jim Snapcaster Mage, Lightning Helix on end step. And now is he... Yeah, he's still going upstairs. I was going to ask if he was going to go upstairs or actually take care of the Karn as he has a bolt in hand. He's like, nope, all of it's burned.
Yeah, the Snapcaster will come across, put Angus to 9. The Lightning Bolt makes it a 6. And this other Lightning Bolt... Now, there is a choking point on red mana for Jim.
Right, but he's got a Colonnade in play, too. This could work.
Yeah, a land combining with that might get him there.
Swings to put Angus down to 9. Now we'll see if Angus goes to Karn away that red mana.
How about World Breaking
Okay. How about World Break it, Crack Sanctum, go get a... Okay.
Well, you know.
You mean this... It was fun while it was a possibility. World Breaker, Trigger, Sanctum. Oh, by the way, he can cast the Mog this turn, too.
They call this getting Troned.
Jim floats a red. Count 2, 4. Oh, 10, exactly 10 more mana. Whatever could we get?
I think I spot an Emrakul. The Promise End was being put towards the front. Or how about this Walking Ballista? That probably closes the game.
Anything is good. Oh, it looks like the Ulamogs were gone.
Okay.
Wonder what were they gone to? We're going to go to a third game. 2 surgical extractions in Jim's deck. So that must have been what happened. How did they get there is the question. This is a puzzle.
It's a mystery.
It's a possibility storm. How did these end up in exile?
Perhaps Johnson discarded the hand
and
size.
so that was the one thing I had too. That can't be it.
I wouldn't say can't.
Well, I mean, I don't have another one yet. Hold on.
Like when you talk about matchups where a player can just like do nothing and discard a hand size and still win, Tron versus Jeskai is one of those matchups.
Oh well, actually, okay, I got a different one. Jim was really low on lands, so Ulamog was cast. Ulamog's not indestructible, right?
It's pretty indestructible.
No, he's indestructible. Ugh. It was cast. It was
both of them were.
It can
cast.
be countered. No, it can be countered. It was
countered.
cast, countered, and surgical.
Sure.
That's my line.
All right. They could have both been pathed.
They also could have both been pathed.
Or was there more than one forest on the battlefield? Probably. I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's in the past now.
We're going to go to game number 3 here. Both players quickly presenting. Jim's build showing some kind of just diversity, really, where Jeskai still is. It has some significant differences from the Luke Purcell deck. He is all the way. He just has 1 copy of Settle the Wreckage. He has a Sphinx's Revelation. I've never liked that instead of the hieroglyphic illumination.
We're still doing that. They let you play Teferi, and you're just still playing Sphinx's Revelation.
Do you find Sphinx's Revelation more offensive than hieroglyphic illumination?
Yes, 100%, absolutely.
Okay. I like
hieroglyphic illuminations actually just has synergy with Search for Azcanta.
Well, I like cycling it. Casting it feels pretty bad.
I mean, like when you top deck it in a long game.
Yeah, I mean, the problem they're trying to address is that there is not a good draw spell in Modern, really. Like, sometimes does he play Think twice there. That's also just a really miserable card.
Think Twice gains some value when you're playing Terminus.
Yeah. They all do things. Ancient Stirrings from Angus here on turn 2. He's making the green mana off a Chromatic Sphere. Jim allows. Season 5. How about the Tron piece you're missing? That seems like a good thing to get.
A fine card to pick up.
Says go.
Just check this turn 3 Tron box again.
I think you should stamp it every time it happens. That's
a lot.
I mean, I get that like the paper will be in shreds by the end of the weekend.
That's a lot of effort, man.
Jim, Field of Ruin, lets Angus draw and then fields. Oh no, Jim, he drew Power Plant this turn. Angus drew. You picked wrong.
Should have asked him what he drew.
I had a poll I ran after a weekend once. So if you ever follow me on Twitter, it was when you have to pick one. Do you pick the first one they played? If it's a Power Plant, then the Mine. Do you pick the first one they played, the second one they played, always the Mine, or always the Power Plant?
I'll do you one better. The one that is easiest to gesture towards. So probably the one that's closest to my right hand.
Jim is surgicaling the Power Plant. So actually...
Now we're cooking.
Actually, he picked the correct Tron land.
Yeah.
Because that's the one Angus drew for the turn.
Well played.
For the record, what I learned from that poll is people just like have it out for Power Plant, okay? Like, a lot of people said always the Power Plant, and nobody said always the Mine.
Love this discussion here. Jim is going through the deck. I believe we have non-English copies, and he's saying, which one is this? Which one is this? Is this the Power Plant?
I don't know. They're all stupid. So now Angus is going to have to play the rest of this game without Tron. Let's look at this hand for a sec. Well, we have Wormcoil Engine, World Breaker, Walking Ballista. We'll work on that last part. Yes.
Couple lands. I think a second Walking Ballista. Could be mistaken on that.
How is this game going to go for Angus now that he is locked out of Tron?
I mean, Walking Ballista is not the worst card there is, but Jim is likely to be able to answer them fairly easily.
So this is interesting. So generally Tron's good against the fair decks. They're Jeskais and Junds. And losing Tron against Jund, I usually feel like I don't care on the Tron side. Like, whatever, they'll cast their things, it'll be fine. I don't feel that way about Jeskai.
The last card I spotted, so it was second Ballista and Thought Knot Seer is an Angus is holding. So next turn,
that's good.
He should have a pretty strong play here.
So, but going to the thing I said earlier, in this, like, the difference of Jeskai and Jund, it feels like you can't just mid-range out the Jeskai deck as well.
Yeah, you know, Thrag Tusk can be pretty good in this matchup, though the counter spells, they are a pretty big difference maker. You know, Ulamog's cast trigger is backbreaking, but if you're actually controlling 10 lands and are playing a game that goes that long, Jim can cast Cryptic Command, counter it, and just play on. He loses 2 of his lands, but can conceivably still be winning, which is a pretty big difference between Jeskai and Jund.
Yeah, I suppose when Jund, once they make the Ulamog, you're getting Ulamogged.
Right.
Ballista swings for 1. 2 players in game 3 here. We'll see Thought Knot Seer from Angus. Will it resolve? It will. Jim's side, we see 2 lands, Teferi and Lightning Helix. Well, that seems pretty easy.
Very easy.
Take that Planeswalker out of here.
Take the only card that can deal with the Thought Knot Seer. 1 of 2 spells in the hand. Jim picks up another land per turn.
Well, Jim fortunately has a Colonnade that on the following turn is going to be online, but he needs some help.
Right.
The dangers of cards like Surgical Extraction are that you actually just start losing cards in your hand as you cast them. I mean, it's still a great Surgical for Jim, but now he needs more.
I mean, the Surgical Extractions are not in Jim's deck because of this matchup, right? They're more for other graveyard decks, and you can incidentally gain this value against Tron. Tron, a pretty tough matchup for the Jeskai deck. And when Angus's hand is all Karns, that Surgical buys you a lot of time. Specifically, that Thought Knot Seer is kind of maximum punishment for Jim in this situation.
And actually, this is a good play from Angus. Sylvan Scrying finds him Ghost Quarter. And I mentioned before that the Colonnade was one of a bright spot for Jim. Well, Ghost Quarter's going to turn that off. Angus makes another Ballista on 1. He's threatening lethal pretty soon here.
Second Lightning Helix picked up for Jim. And
yeah, that does something.
Yeah, he has another white source here with the Flooded Strand.
We'll go to 9. So do you double shoot the Thought Knot Seer? These Ballistas will be a problem at some point too, though.
Right. Yeah. For now, they can only grow once a turn. You also don't get to gain any life if you throw Helixes at the Ballistas, just because they'll remove all their counters in response.
Okay, and that's pretty big here.
Right. Yeah, I'm very interested in just firing these off on the Thought Knot Seer.
Do you do it now, or do you wait till end step in case there's another Thought Knot?
Probably doesn't make a huge difference. Maybe you can draw Serum Visions and set up your draw if you find that off of the trigger.
Okay. Yeah, there are some sorcery speed, and Jim's going to do that. 1, 2 Lightning Helixes. He'll go up to 15, gets a card. And, of course, it's a land.
Can't even Thought Knot Seer that anyway.
Yeah, you want him to play a Thought Knot Seer.
I wouldn't go that far.
Thought Knots in the sideboard of Angus's deck. I was wondering whether
3 of them.
Yeah. Does he have any Smashers or just the Thought Knots?
Just Thought Knot. That's pretty standard. On 5, they have Thrag Tusk.
Sure.
So they don't go full-on Eldrazi beatdown.
Chromatic Star from Angus, pops it, pumps a Ballista, swings 3, puts Jim down to 12. But he's just making those land drops. A big pickup for Jim, though. Snapcaster Mage. Looking at the yard, we have Serum Visions, Lightning Helix, and Lightning Bolt as options. Also Surgical Extraction. Don't think that one
I would be very surprised to see Surgical flashback here.
I was going to mention that Ghost Quarter keeping Colonnade in check, and Angus drawing, that's land 7. So now he can start hard casting these cards. He has both Wormcoil, or rather he has Oblivion Stone and World Breaker, so let's World Break. Takes care of the Colonnade. Swings for 3.
And Jim has Snapcaster Mage, but it's quite embarrassing against Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
Never gets to make a block. He can fire off a removal spell on one of the Ballistas. It won't actually matter which one, because the one with 2 counters is going to be removing a counter to hit the Snapcaster Mage.
Right, so Jim, this is actually just a removal spell for 1 Ballista.
Right.
And he'll shoot Helix at one of the Ballistas.
He's weighing his options.
I was thinking about going upstairs.
You can make that argument. He lost his colonnade. His last card's a land. I don't think he's going to be able to get Angus from 17, but it was worth thinking about, and Jim does decide on going for the Ballista. The other thing about that is you actually get to gain the life if you go upstairs.
Right.
But the walking ballistas make short work of that 3 extra life.
Jim just finds a land, plays it, says go. This is going to end pretty quick. Actually could end this turn. Yeah, land 8, you can just double pump the ballista. Yeah, make that a 3-3, swing 8, shoot to 10. Jim down to, yeah, and that'll be the game and match. Angus Johnson is your winner, 2-1 over Jim Davis.